What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to episode 57 of the single player Let's Play. So today I am working on upgrading our cable management for outside, and I've also got a few cool plans as well. One of the things that's on my mind is taking a few of our swords and making a few of our tools and weapons here and there and making them potentially safer. We'll see. So I've just updated V-tweaks, and so now there's this cool feature with, I'll show you real quick. There's this enchantment called Imperishable, which keeps your tools and weapons and armor from ever being destroyed. They'll just become pretty useless until you repair them. But I might look into that. I don't know that we really need it, honestly. But maybe we do. So I can go ahead and get ourselves probably 32 of these would be enough, and probably 16 of these. I think these are the numbers that we will need. So this guy should know how to make everything for both of these recipes. I think it knows how to make hardened clay. I hope you do. Yeah, you do. Good. Cool. So I went through and taught it a few recipes so that it can help us out here. And there you go. Proof that I did something. So, yeah, it's been a little bit busy for me lately, so I do apologize if I haven't quite gotten everything done that you had hoped I had gotten done. But I promise it's just because the life has been a little busy with work and with school. But I'm doing really good in my summer classes right now, so that's always, in my opinion, the most important thing. So hopefully you guys understand that. But I'm still trying to do Let's Play videos at least once a week, hopefully more than that. Like last week we had 2, this week we'll probably have 2 again. I'll probably try to upload these on Friday and either Sunday. I'll probably have an automatic upload. So yeah, I didn't really take these into account when I made all of the, let's see, give me some more HV wire coils. Yeah, I didn't take these into account when I was telling it to craft these things away, but that's fine. So I've updated a few mods and installed a few mods. As you can tell, we have the blur mod installed. This is by far probably my favorite aesthetic mod ever. Like you can take better FPS, you can take GLSL shaders, you can take all of those and you can stick it where the sun don't shine, because this beats it for me. I think these are some of the nicest, or that's one of the nicest tweaks that anything has ever really gotten in Minecraft for a very long time. So, and by the way, in case you're wondering, well, Jose, why don't you just take all this crap down? You've come up with way better power solutions now, so just get rid of it. Yeah, I could do that, but here's my problem. Here's why I haven't. It's because I like the aesthetic of having stuff around. I personally could care less if it was... I could care less what it is, honestly. It's just one of those things... I thought... Okay, I'm really confused as to what I did there. Oh, yeah, these were slabs. I bet that's what it was. I'm not sure. To be honest, I'm not the most organized of builders. So, that's not quite right. I think this was supposed to be also concrete. There we go. But yeah, so I mean, I could get rid of it, but then we'd have less stuff in our world, you know? Like, sure, I could put everything all in, I could put all my eggs in one basket, I could put everything all centralized, and then what, though? Like, we would have less to explore. We would have less to see. And so I personally really like having a bunch of different stuff. It's one of my favorite things. So I've clearly made a massive miscalculation at some point, and should probably go and try to retrieve some of those. Oh, you know what I bet I did? I think I know what I did. In here, I used double slabs, but what I probably did, because I'm cheap, was single slabs. Okay, well that one would have been a normal block. I bet you that's what I did. So yeah, I mean, that's why. Like I said, I could go through and make this streamlined. You wouldn't see a single cable, you wouldn't see anything. But that bothers me. I like seeing the cables. I like knowing, wow, you know, here's the sign of a lot of work. You know, and I think we really have worked very hard on this world. I think a lot of the times the suggestions in the comments have been like the #1 leading motivation for coming up with new designs. And so yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, you know, I totally could get rid of this. Totally could make this with just power cells. But what fun would that be? Like, there would be no aesthetic. There would be nothing. Rather, there wouldn't be as much. There would be something, just not as much. So keep in mind too, I'm well aware that when I'm rebuilding this, I'm not building it the same as I built it originally. I don't know that I can keep track of that. So whatever. So, HV stuff I haven't used in a very long time, so this would be kind of cool to see just kind of how it works again. Not how it works, like I know how it works, obviously I'm using it right now, but just to see it working, I guess. And it's nice, the wires aren't cutting through the ground. The wires are sitting right on top of the slabs. It actually looks kind of right. That's neat. That makes me happy. Okay, so here comes a potential challenge, is I don't know how I'm going to connect this unless I just break these again. I guess I can just do that. A very cheeky solution, I know. I apologize, but you'll have to live with it. So yeah, I think right now the bottleneck is the fact that our cables weren't transmitting enough power, because we should be transmitting enough power right now to power 2 farms. I mean, geez, look at all the thermal, what are these? The thermoelectric generators. Look at all these. Like, this has got to be producing a ridiculous amount of RF. Maybe not like an overpowered amount per se, but surely it should be producing enough to handle that. You would think. So yeah. Oh, let's see. So we got that to that, this to this. I was trying to think of a way to make this look kind of cool, but whatever. It still looks cool, just not as cool per se. But yeah, I like the immersive engineering cables a lot. I think they look really good, and I think they are, honestly, I think they're just kind of one of those things that makes perfect sense. I think they should be, my problem is that there isn't cable in immersive engineering. There's wire, but there's not like actual copper cable of any variety like in industrial craft. If there was, hear me out on this, I think it would be the perfect, the perfect end-all be-all for power transportation. I think that it is incredibly reasonably realistic. I think that it is one of those things that should be considered as kind of a good start for other mods to think about their power situations, because it meets a nice balance between aesthetic and functionality. I think these cables, I mean, look at how far I'm running with this cable. This is a conduit facade, right? Yeah, good. I mean, I'm going a very long distance with this cable. There's a small amount of attenuation, if I remember correctly, on the cable, and I'm okay with that, because in return, I'm getting nice, organized structure for my wiring here. I mean, like, look at this. This makes perfect sense. This wiring, I can't disagree with it. I can't. This is a little cheeky, like I said, but I mean, everything else is relatively on par with what you should expect. And I think that the crusher from Immersive Engineering is an incredible item. As far as, once again, balanced dynamics, I think it's kind of a pain in the butt to craft, which is a good thing. Let me see. Is my water broken here? Is that what the problem is? Yeah, there we go. Sorry. I hate seeing flowing water in the middle of a stream. This I love. I still love this stream that we built from day one. Or the early days, rather. The stream I love, but just random flowing water in the middle of the bodies of water does bother me. So let's go ahead and start replacing all of these LV wire relays with the MV ones, or HV rather. So we did kind of just... Seriously? Probably an Enderman. So a few things are a little bit messed up here. That's annoying. Oh, here. This grass block looks out of place. I'll grab it, and I will use it here. Take that, cheeky Enderman. Yeah, I'm not really happy with having the upside down posts, but that's okay. I'll live. I much prefer them right side up like this, but it is what it is. And then that. So now we should be able to, in theory, and that one, and the next one. But yeah, going back to the whole immersive engineering wiring, I just think it's great. My problem, the one thing that I have to say does get my goat, is the fact that while they are great, look at this. Like inside this building, for example, it's horrendous. It's really just quite a mess, and I don't think it should have to be such a mess. There we go. And that's one of the things that does pretty thoroughly bother me, is that it doesn't have any sort of internal, if you will, wire management, or like house-based wire management. It only has some of these bigger ones. It's a good thing this drill has silk touch, huh? So I'm going to take down a lot of these unnecessary wire posts that I made. I don't need them, still don't need them. So just going to get rid of them. So, whoops. One of the things that I really wanted to look into, but it became very, very clear that it just wasn't really particularly feasible, was I really wanted to play with the diesel generators. They look like they could be really cool, and they are really cool, don't get me wrong. It's just they're very expensive and very difficult to keep running. So I backed off of that idea, but it's just something that's been sitting in the back of my head still, because I really did like the concept of doing a diesel generator. How's this food tank? Just fine. Cool. Well, I think, unless I've missed something, that is everything converted over to HV. So, I'm curious, how are you doing on power now? Alright, slowly crawling up on the energy usage here, which is pretty good. Hello, tree. That still is using quite a lot of power. I wonder... you see this is an LV capacitor? I wonder if that's a bottleneck as well. So why don't we do this? I haven't really done anything from thermal expansion yet. So why don't we look into that at thermal? Have I changed the recipes in this pack yet? I have. Good. So thermal expansion has some really cool machines, but I think that the balance is a little bit off sometimes. So what I've done, I don't know why I did that. What I've done is I've changed a few of the recipes around, and I've done this on pretty much all of my worlds that I play on, so that you have to do other mods before you can just jump straight into thermal expansion. So, for example, we're making bronze, so I think we should be good on gear casings. So what we should do is take a look at the gear bushings, because I can make bronze still, correct? I did teach you that? Yes, good. And the way that I'm making bronze, I think, is still just the same old way, which I'll live with. I'm okay with it. It's not my favorite recipe, but it's whatever. And then... should really get around to actually doing more grid access. So if I grab a bushing, I can actually craft a few of these, but I'll just start with 2. Because we just need to teach it recipes anyways. So if we do, the gear can be used for, or rather the bushings can be used for several types of gears, and I think we're just going to start with tin for now. And then we can do, you know what, yeah, let's just go and teach them all. Because it's not like you don't know how to make pretty much everything that we would need at some point anyways. It could be cool to have a lot of these gears just completely auto-craftable. So if we take a look, there's copper. Then there should be, let's see. Do we ever use silver gears for anything? Yeah, I guess so. And lead. Aluminum. Invar. And I think that's pretty much it that we really actively ever use. We won't need platinum, iridium, or mana infused. Do we need steel for anything? Eventually, but not really yet. Electrum, yeah, same goes for that. Eventually, but not yet, really. Invar, yeah, we should teach you Invar, because you know how to make Invar the metal, right? You don't know how to make Invar. Well, so we're learning all sorts of stuff that we should teach our system how to make. I messed that up. Cool. So let's teach our system how to make Invar. So you can make Invar from thermal foundation with an alloy smelter. So knock yourself out. Because I have an alloy smelter. Now, I'm gonna guess that I should probably use, let's see, if this guy's making bronze, then this guy should make Invar. Because I don't want recipes to use the same machine if they seem to share the same machine set. So, hello, there we go. We should now be able to craft tons of different gears. I'd like to also teach it machine casings. So, let's see, machine, is it chassis? No, add thermal, machine block? Machine frame. So, you know how to make insulating glass, tin gears, and steel. So we should be good here. Let's take a look at the other stuff from thermal foundation. An energy cell frame. Do I know how to make electrum? No, I don't know how to make electrum either. So let me see. Let's see. Reinforced electrum ingot. Again, alloy smelter. Go for it. Knock yourself out. And if you have Invar, then you should get electrum. Okay. So now, if you wanted to make one of these, you know how to make the lead gear. You don't know how to make glass. Oh, but you know what? Does fused quartz count? I wonder if fused quartz will count. It does. Quite awesome. So we'll use fused quartz, lead, and electrum. You know how to make all of those things now. I promise there's a reason why I'm going through and teaching everything here. It's because thermal expansion is awesome, and I just haven't really gotten a chance to play with it as much as I am now. Because in all of my worlds, I have, aluminum plates. See, this is something that I need to address at some point. I need metal presses. I need a few metal presses. So we should do that, probably wouldn't hurt to do it soon. But yeah, so there's a lot of stuff that I'm just like really excited to be able to craft finally in not immersive engineering, thermal expansion. So why don't we just start with the frame, because the frame gets used for oh yeah, there's the upgrade kits. I should teach it these too. Can I? You should know. Do you know bronze gear? Did I teach you bronze gear? I didn't teach you bronze gear. I should do that. Bronze gear. So now, if I taught you how to make the upgrades, we'll start here. So you know how to make all of this now. So there's no longer crafting directly into certain tiers of recipes, you just have to... Oh, we'll stop here. We'll stop at tier 2. But you have to now apply upgrades to existing blocks. So it's kind of an interesting concept. So if I look at the energy cell, which we might want to try to make... No, I give up. Oh wait, no, you know how to make this stuff. So you know how to make all of these. So just learn how to make this with sticks, perfect. And then make, so you can make that, that, and that. So you can do steel, and then you can get these 3. Because I'd like to make it so that I can autocraft energy cells. And that would be particularly convenient, and then it looks like I can. And that was the last blank pattern that I had in there, so I should make some more at some point. But we can go ahead and put that down there, and if I look at cell, the energy cells shouldn't be that terrible to make. And we'll look at the... let's see, we'll look at the upgrades as well, because we'll want one of these and one of these. So what all is going on here? What do we have going? So you say that the energy cell should be done? Yes, it is. Excellent. And I want to upgrade it. And so we should have both of our upgrades done. Yay! Hey, look at that. We got some good stuff done then. So right now it's trying to charge the energy cell, which we don't really want, but that's okay. But we can upgrade this guy all the way up to reinforced for now. There are better tiers, of course, but the reinforced is a good place to start. If we look at the other upgrades, the signalum requires signalum ingots, which I can teach it how to autocraft, but I also don't have cryothium dust easily obtainable right now. And then the resonant upgrade kits are definitely going to be something that I want to automate at some point. That's part of why I've really been eager to come back to this series, is because I know that there's a lot of stuff to do now, thanks to the return of thermal expansion. So yeah. Ideally, if I've done... Oh man, there are a lot of witches out here. Goodness. So much stuff happening. That's okay, though. So, I should, in theory, be able to break this guy. And while it's not going to be really happy, that's okay, because I can put you down. And we can say input on the top and output on the bottom. So that now, if I hook this up here... How much power are you getting now? Look at that. See, now we're doing so much better. That LV capacitor was our limit. Goodness, I would really love if this went away. This poison effect is quite irritating. And this should also be, at some point, I would hope, it should be filling. Why do I feel like you're not filling? Base use 100 RF per tick. I should be making 100 RF per tick. Okay, yeah, there we go. So now it's filling. And as we get trees, it'll fluctuate. It'll go down. It'll go up. But this was basically my big thing. So if you're using 100 RF per tick, then we should tell you max output should be 100 RF per tick. And then max input should be right on par. So you... Base use is 100 RF per tick. Why? I've also got to figure out what's causing the creepers to not detonate. They should be detonating. Alright. You don't get any more than 700 RF per tick. That should be plenty for you. Stop being greedy. Well, I'd say that's a good start. So let me look into some of the metal former stuff, because we need to make some of those immersive engineering metal thingy bobbers. So if we take a look at our backpack, there's a few things here that can inevitably break at some point. Specifically, this diamond sickle that I really like, but also our sword. It can technically break even though we have mending on it. And that kind of concerns me, and besides, I've got that new enchantment that I want to try out. So why don't we go on a quick expedition to go find it, and then once we get back, we can look into grabbing ourselves the metal formers that we need, or rather I think they're called metal formers. I don't actually recall for sure. So maybe we should just go a pretty far ways. I'll be back once I think I found something new. Alright, fingers crossed this is a new place. It looks like it, because that chest is definitely not full of anything good. So, what I'm going to do is we can run around now that we're here and see what's going on. I wonder, am I running low on memory? I am. Wow. I should give it more memory next time. So ideally, one of these chests, maybe this isn't new chest generation, maybe that's part of my problem. Because ideally, one of these chests should have my enchanted book in it, and I want a few of them if I can get them. And if not, then I've got bibliocraft now, so we can use bibliocraft to get ourselves several of them. Something else I realized that we should probably get around to doing today is making better armor. We have modular power suits now, so it might not be a bad idea. So I literally flew off to my third fortress. I landed right here, opened up a chest, and there we go, an imperishable book. So that's pretty cool. I might finish exploring this place just in case there's a second one. And if not, then I can live with that. But definitely would be nice to have more. So I found a few more. That makes me happy. And I think I'm going to just go ahead and head home. Maybe sift through all of the stuff that I've gotten, because we have gotten quite a lot of stuff. And we should be good to go. So, main village, go home. Boom. So, we can start with our sickle here. And I also want to stick it onto the sword, but it seems like it's too expensive, so maybe we just can't. Oh well. So the imperishable enchantment, like I said, is really useful for any time you just don't want to risk losing a tool or a weapon. Anything that can break, it keeps it from breaking so that you can actually repair it before you use it. So there's a few disadvantages to this, of course, but I think it's overall pretty great. So let's look into the metal press, shall we? So the metal press itself is going to be in our Akashic Tome. We can go ahead and pull out the engineer's manual and look at the metal press. We're going to want probably, I'm thinking 3 of these. So slow your roll. I would like to see this step by step. Thank you. Let's see. Redstone engineering blocks. I've already got 2 or 1. I just need 2 more. Perfect. They craft in 2s anyways. I think I've got pistons auto-craftable, and I've already got one anyways. I should already have conveyor belts. And then heavy engineering blocks. I need a 3rd one. Ah, drats. Wait, I've already got it all. Awesome. So, we should be able to go downstairs now. And, wait, did I not grab the pistons? Or did I just use them in that recipe? Probably just used them. Whoops. Confirmed. Used. So, now that we've got everything that we need to make ourselves... I'm trying to think of how this is put together again. It's something like this, isn't it? Oh, other way. Right? Yeah, cool. So this is how the multi-block is formed. So what I want to do for this is, if I grab some coil, and if I grab HV, I'm going to grab some steel as well. Actually, you know what? That can wait. What if... One other thing that I want to grab is... I guess either way doesn't really matter. I should have an extra power cell. I think this is... Yeah, this should be main power, because this is from the farm. Why don't we use this huge area? I'm gonna fix this, I promise. I don't know what roof I'm gonna use yet, but I'm gonna use one, so please forgive me. I know it's not perfect, but it will be someday. But I also feel like this is definitely plenty of room to build out some decent amounts of bulk auto-crafting, which is my goal. So follow along with this, if you will, in my mindset here. We can just put these down. If, for example, and you know what? Let's do... I don't know that the direction matters, but I can't remember for sure if it does. So if we had a recipe, let's say we wanted to craft something in bulk. For example, we wanted to craft 64 advanced alloy, or what are the alloys from, crap, what are they called? Energetic alloy? And yeah, the energetic alloy. Let's say we wanted to craft a stack of those. That's going to take a long time to do. I don't know why I used that wrench, honestly. So instead of crafting 64 of them in one machine, what if I had 8 machines, each one only having to craft 8? That's my thought process. So that's not necessarily what's going on here. Here we just have the 3, and we will only just have the 3. And I'm going to make a few conduit facades at some point. So we will take, that's transparent. I want just plain facade. Surprised I don't have auto crafting for those. So let's say we did have something like that. If you can imagine, the potential here is actually pretty cool for making some wide, or rather large scale crafting. And that's kind of what I'm hoping for. So this room, this huge chasm, I've decided is going to actually be, dang it, in the end, I want it to actually be used for the mass auto-crafting of things. So that's kind of gonna be the plan, I think. And as such, oh, you know, I didn't think about that. These are gonna need a relay, and I didn't plan that out. Crud. Well then, why don't we... How bad does this look? Because I'm thinking this entire huge auto-crafting room, I mean, it's going to be a big room, obviously. So the best way of traveling or transporting power, aside from, of course, teleporting crap around, which is part of what we're doing, don't get me wrong, that's a part of the big picture. We also have an energy line right upstairs that we can tap into. And I was thinking we could also produce energy down here for the mighty nether star generators that I've been hinting at. So that being said, I think that there's a lot of potential for some cool stuff. If we did that, if we had this as our huge like auto crafting chamber, I don't know what you guys think of that, but I think it's going to be a really cool concept if we can get it done. So for now, what I want to test is a few things. First of all, we're going to need a crafter. We're also going to need a lot of cables. That's something that I'm coming to the realization of, is we should just craft a lot of cables. Those crafted really quickly. I feel like I just ran through a lot of materials. Oh well. So we should end up with our crafters here. I thought I had a crafter. Ah, yes, that's what I thought I saw. I thought I saw a crafter, but it was a crafting grid, which we'll bring with us. We'll want one down there after a while, I'm sure. So while these crafters craft, let me make sure that I'm not hung up on anything. Wireless crafting monitor. Are you just making stuff? Machine is in use? Yeah, okay, it's just making stuff. Cool. So let me wait for these to get crafted up, and then we'll be back, and I want to do some testing. So the crafters are done crafting, and I want to see, what if we put a network transmitter down here, and we said, I think if I remember how these work. I'm always terrible with these. So the network receiver, if I put it down here, it doesn't have a GUI, but let's see, if I shift right click, 11, or let's see, 115.9, what did that say? 159.467. That seems about right. So what if we ran up here? Oh, it was in this room. And then put it right here. Network transmitter is going 45 blocks. What if our what of our power? What is going on with the power here at the controller? Because that is my number one concern, is I don't want to overdraw the power here. So we are using 859 RF per tick. Yeah, I'm okay with that. How much is the network transmitter using specifically? It's having to go about 45 blocks. 230. Well, I won't lie, that's a lot, but our options are kind of limited. And so I'm more or less okay with it, because otherwise we can just wire it the whole way down. But I had to do some thinking, and I really, truly believe that it's going to be more risky as far as world stability and just the functionality of things working if I run one really huge cable straight down versus if I just have a network receiver and deal with the consequences of extra power usage, which is fine by me. So this is my question. I have to test this. First of all, let me see if I can get these facing the way that I want, because these are really cool. I really like the these metal presses. I'll come up with a way of making this prettier. Don't worry about that. In fact, I kind of have a cool plan, and I'll give you a hint. It involves moving these back against the wall and then using conveyor belts. One other thing is I grabbed the crafting grid, but I didn't ever put it down. Oh, good. I would have to have a light there. Let me put my light down. And somewhere, right there, perfect. Cable. So, crafting grid. Beautiful, beautiful. And we should be able to, at some point, access stuff. So, the nice thing is that, and what are you sorted by? Sort by ID. There we go. So, what I want to see, I don't know if this is going to work, but this is what I want to see. I should be able to take a gear. What's our cheapest gear that we can make? Probably the, well, I don't think I can use a basic gear, can I? Nope. So yeah, we could probably just make an aluminum gear. That'll be fine. And if we take a look at the uses for an aluminum gear, you actually end up with this guy here. So if we grabbed some steel plates, and we'll grab 4 of these. This is going to take a while right now, but in the future, this is not going to take a while any longer. That's another thing that I'm very much looking forward to, is we're going to have gear crafting now, which is really cool. So now if I say gear, give me an aluminum gear. Right now it has to craft the bronze first, and then it has to craft the gear itself. But what the idea is that if I take aluminum, we'll start with aluminum for now. Oh, actually an aluminum wire is perfect too, because the aluminium wire, I hate the fact that there's an inconsistency there. It really drives me crazy. Let's grab 4 steel, because we can make wire presses too. And then actually, if I grab 5 more, we can do quite a few of these metal press molds, I think is what they're called. Yeah, metal press mold. So this one will be for wires. And then this one, we'll have one more, which is, let's see, steel plate. Doesn't have to be steel, but I was already making them, so may as well. And that one can make plates. So at this point, I need to just come up here real quick. And I should be able to say, as a processing recipe, first of all, how do you make these? It's just 1 and 2. So you don't even have to say this part. In fact, I want to get rid of that because we don't have to worry with it. I can also say, how do you make one of these? It's this. So, in theory, if this works, this is what I'm testing. Oh, I ran off the wrong side and got totally flip-flopped. So this is the wire, and then this one is the gear. So now, if I say, which gear recipe are you going to go for? Alright, that's fair. What about wire? I know I've got some, but what if I told you to craft some more? How's this going to work? Is it going to work? Yeah, it looks like that's going to work. So, of course, the problem is that I don't have any way of picking those up. But fortunately, we have just the situation for that. So if we have a... I think there's a conveyor belt that goes into a dropping conveyor belt. Yeah, I think that's the one that we want. So go ahead and make one of these. I know this episode is getting long, and I apologize, but it's kind of worth it if you ask me. So we have this. We should now have a buffer. Should we need a buffer? I really don't think we need a buffer. I think all we need is... we can start... oh man, I don't know what I want. I think we'll just use an importer. And just a chest. So in theory, I should be able to just say boop, boop. And so if we have a chest here, I'm just going to check on this. If we have a chest here, and one of you here, if I drop wire over top of this, or if I drop anything over top of it, it should go into the chest, right? Excellent. So we will do that then. We can have that, and we can have that. The last part of the puzzle is... first of all, I do still want to pretty this stuff up a little bit, but most critically to me right now is just making sure that there's an importer somewhere, and we should be good. So if we have an importer down here, there should be a chest, there we go. Importer on that chest. And now, if I fill this in a little bit, I'm just going to go ahead and toss all that aluminum wire back in there so that it stops freaking out. So that all got put in there, and I think if I go and check, it's probably going to say that all of our recipes have been fulfilled. So what I'm going to do is call the episode there, but just so that you can get an idea of what to expect, I'm gonna, and I don't know how I'm gonna get around parts of this, but I want to, we can do that. I want to move the crafters all the way back here, because I think they would look cooler if we had them back here and then used conveyor belts to move them up. That being said, I don't really know how we're going to handle the lighting, so I might have to fix that real quick, just by means of cheapness or something. I'm not particularly sure. Because I don't think this is going to work. Nope. So we'll see what I can get to work. And I'll go ahead and handle that in between episodes. But I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Sorry it was a little bit long. But next time we should have some cool, massive auto-crafting stuff going on. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. Take care.